Stacey Abrams this morning cleaning up something she said. So let's do this in reverse order. First, her. She gave a speech in which she said, responding to Governor Kemp, that Georgia is the worst state. And then she went on to list a number of health metrics and disparity metrics. And so you get her point. But in the digital age, when you give that little snippet, Georgia is the worst state, it can come back to bite you. David Perdue took issue. We'll get to Perdue in a minute. This is Stacey Abrams this morning saying, well, should have done this.
Republicans have had a field day with your comment about this is the worst state to live in. Was that a mistake?
I had an elegant delivery of a statement that I will keep making, and that is that Brian Kemp is a failed governor who doesn't care about the people of Georgia.
Inelegant delivery, she says. It's important to watch here. She's going to be the nominee. She's not contested in the Democratic primary. But those candidates, too, everything you say is recorded. So that's quick cleanup.
It is, and it's something that she had to do because you never want to be running for the governor of a state and seen on camera disparaging that state. You know that's going to be an ad, even though she was trying to clean it up there. Listen, she had a very good race in 2018. It was a good year for Democrats more generally. The margin was something like 60,000 votes or so. Did very well bringing out a Democratic coalition, this new sort of demographics down in Georgia. We'll see if she can do it again. You don't see the same kind of attention on this race that you did in 2018. I think Oprah was down there stumping for her at some point. And so we'll see what she's able to do. The headwinds are against most Democrats, as we know, because of all of the economic metrics. So she had a stumble in this race, trying to clean it up. We'll see if it matters.
Very key point about the different dynamics. 2018, a big Democratic year. This looks like a big Republican year. So if you're the Democrat, you can't make mistakes. So quick cleanup. We'll see how it plays there. Another new thing was Mike Pence last night. He's campaigning for the incumbent governor, Brian Kemp. That's persona non grata number one, or maybe number two, if you take the Secretary of State in Georgia to account for Donald J. Trump, who I think was Mike Pence's boss not all that long ago. Listen to the language of Mike Pence, because this is interesting to watch. Pence has tried to say, Donald Trump and I disagree about January 6th, but we had a great administration. This, to me, is walking away a bit more.
I am here to support Brian Kemp in tomorrow's Republican primary. I can honestly say I was for Brian Kemp before it was cool. When you say yes to Governor Brian Kemp tomorrow, you will send a deafening message all across America that the Republican Party is the party of the future.
That's Mitch McConnell's language. We're not Trump's party anymore. We're the party of the future. Mike Pence there, in my view, taking another step away. Is that fair?
Yeah, this is what it comes down to in Georgia. It's definitely become Mike Pence versus Trump and who they have endorsed. But if you look at who they have endorsed, it's not really surprising why they're backing those specific candidates. In this case, of course, Pence is backing Brian Kemp because you remember, on January 6th, the days leading up to it, Trump was saying, you have the power to overturn the election results. And Pence went out there and said, I actually don't. The Constitution doesn't allow me to do that. Brian Kemp has more or less made similar arguments that, hey, our elections have been fair. You see the opposite side. Trump basically begging Perdue to get in the race for governor. And Perdue has very much followed that election lie. That has become his campaign. And the election lie animates just about everything Donald Trump does. If you're a candidate, whether you're running for dog catcher or Congress or governor or Senate, Trump wants to see your fealty on the big lie to endorse you, which is why, again, as we focus on the later things, he called into a rally for Perdue last night. Listen to what he says about Kemp, but more importantly about Republican voters.
David is the only candidate who can beat Stacey Abrams, because I don't believe Kemp can do it. He's got too many people in the Republican Party that will refuse to vote. They're just not going to go out after what they did to two senators and to a presidential election. What he did should have been so different.
He's at it again. He's saying essentially that if Kemp wins, my people won't vote. Now, the question is, after the does he do that? Does he do that through November? Most Georgia Republicans believe that Raphael Warnock and Jon Ossoff are in the Senate because Donald Trump was questioning the election process in Georgia. There he goes again.
Yeah, and a lot of Republicans blamed Donald Trump for losing 2 Senate seats, which then handed control of the entire Senate to Democrats. And they're starting to get nervous that it's going to happen again. I think the big question is, I don't think anyone thinks that Trump is actually going to get behind Kemp after he wins, but will he work to actively undermine him? He said things like Stacey Abrams might be better as governor than their own Republican governor. So that is the concern among Republicans.
And so help me with this one in the sense that Georgia Republicans appear poised, we'll count the votes tonight, to tell Donald Trump no when it comes to getting rid of their governor, because the Republicans seem to like their governor. We'll see what happens in the Secretary of State race. So there will be, and Mike Pence pushing away, there will be some things tonight we can say, aha, the party is turning on Trump some. But just about everybody, listen here, running for office, wants to hug him some.
David Perdue is an outstanding man.
A conservative endorsed by President Trump.
Chris Carr fights to preserve President Trump's policies to crack down on illegal immigrants. Chris Carr is Trump strong on immigration.
President Trump has enthusiastically endorsed Burt Jones for lieutenant governor.
We're still learning. And again, at the end of tonight, will be 13 of the 50 state primaries. So we've got a lot to learn still. Trump is still the most dominant force in the party. The question, I guess, is it how dominant? What's the right word?
It feels like we can overstate the move away from Trump here, right? There is definitely moving away from the questions about the election on the one hand. On the other hand, it's not like there's any policy on anything where you see Republicans running in a different direction from Trump. And first of all, running at all, but certainly running and winning. Brian Kemp supported Donald Trump and supported the agenda. If you take away the questions about what happened in the election in 2020 and whether Kemp should have tried to throw the election to Trump, there's no difference, right? And so Donald Trump continues to define the party, whether or not they want Donald Trump to be the head of the party.
And Kemp hasn't criticized Trump, which I think is also very telling. But it could be a blueprint for other Republicans of how do you stand up to the election lies while still embracing at least some of Trump's policies.
And you see on the Senate side, too, Herschel Walker is likely to be, if not the number one candidate, the winner. He might go into a runoff. But he was a candidate that Mitch McConnell did not want to be in the Senate race. Donald Trump did. And that's why he's in that race.